Whoa, it wasn't enough to review the 1994 The Stand in the year 2020. We need a whole new version of The Stand in 2020. And let's release it around Christmas. Hence why I'm still in this outfit. Now, of course, this was filmed before the pandemic hit last year, but there is still no excuse for not predicting the future. Therefore, they should have to set fire to every copy of this series. Except for the one copy which would eventually be leaked out in bootlegs. Production of this CBS limited series began in September of 2019 and ending in March of 2020. Around the time we went into quarantine. Coincidence? I think so. Or is it? I hear Captain Trips is a notorious method actor. We had to get a new version of The Stand. You know why? Stephen King is always in. And when you have some hit adaptations, that means everything that's been adapted before must be adapted again. Why on earth would you do that? The first miniseries was already perfect!
Ain't you beautiful? Just as gorgeous as dawn in Eden.
See? Why would you change that? I just hope they bring the dog reaction and magic hand back. This 9-part series was released in weekly installments from December 17th, 2020 to February 11th, 2021. What? Weekly? Are you not aware of how entitled we are as a people? We want it all now! Binge watching has turned us into a nation of Veruca Salts! So let's get into the first episode titled The End. See, it's called The End. It doesn't need to be so long. The first episode is directed by Josh Boone. Yes, he directed A Fault in Our Stars, but it's an internet review, so I have to mention the bad movie. Okay, I've got a 9-hour series to get to. I'd better stop dawdling around. Boo! The one in 1994 aired on ABC. I don't like change. Aw, crap. All this money spent and no one told them they accidentally remade Children of the Corn. Let's get some setup here.
There's bitter days ahead. Death and terror.
I bet that's Tom Cullen narrating. Oh, this is the beginning, huh? Okay. Did someone ask, wouldn't the 1994 one be way better if it just jumped right to the church scene? That would have gotten to the Stephen King role much quicker. Don't know who this is, but I guess he's sick from fearing the Reaper.
There's no shame, son. I was an EMT, 26 years.
I don't know who you are! I think I can piece this together. So Sam Raimi was in the original, so does this Darkman poster mean that Sam Raimi survived this movie? And if Sam Raimi exists in this universe, does that mean the 1994 movie does too? I should stop. The movie also references movies.
You ever seen Risky Business?
Yeah, and you know what wouldn't have made it better? If it began with a random scene in the second act. And if you don't know Risky Business, look, there's Tom Cruise! I hope this speech is about how if anyone is gonna survive this global pandemic, it would be Tom Cruise. Starting out with something later in the story. Wait, that means the movie's gonna cut to this bullshit.
WFTJ, a gun-quit AccuWeather forecast, is predicting clear skies.
The old earlier title card. The sign that the distributors and producers do not respect you. Unfortunately, we don't get a Don't Fear the Reaper opening credit sequence, as we're introduced to The Tan, the riveting story about how a gypsy curse causes a man to get tanner. This one, however, does play Ride Captain Ride. I'll allow it. I love that song. Ooh, this must be Molly Sheedy. Franny. Already I can tell who's supposed to be who.
Kinda lost track of time out here.
So how did,
Hi, Harold.
Gotcha, you pee-pee pervert!
Hi, Stephen King bullies. So far, I get a sense it's the F-bomb that's gonna destroy the world. There's already cameos. Look, I bet that's the same crow from the original. Everyone may be getting sick here, but that's not gonna ruin the farmer's market. It's a world where we're taking storytelling for granted. The first one showed us why the people were sick. This one, I don't know, is it flu season? I got a bad feeling about Harold's mom.
That's right. Go back to Babylon, you hoa.
Stupid CBS always giving Chuck Lorre things. People keep giving Harold shit, but he should have braced himself for this lifestyle. The actor Owen Teague previously played a Stephen King bully in It. This is one adaptation that's going by Gus Van Sant's Psycho rules. Wouldn't it be better if it had a masturbation scene? And yeah, sure, it was nice knowing who Stu was from the beginning, but what if this one just introduced him by cutting right away to him being in quarantine and told he's immune?
What do you want to know?
Well, for starters, how come you're not wearing one of those masks?
I'm too good looking.
Save it for Twitter, asshole. I'm floored by how bad this is at setting up character and story, considering it's 5 hours longer than the one from '94. Oh, now we see his backstory. Did you days earlier after your months earlier? There's Charlie, the contaminated dude who crashes, that we're still briefly told about in these exposition sessions. This is like the first miniseries if you hit the shuffle button and then still dropped it and picked up some pieces while brushing the others under the rug. You know the term show, don't tell? This series was dared to break that rule. It's like we're watching some of the story and also the pitch meeting between producers. I only know who these characters are because I know the source material, not because of this teleplay. Oh, anyway, Franny's dad is dead now.
Can I come in?
I guess this is that 1 in a million moment. Wouldn't it have been nice to know her dad first?
Is that...
I'm burying my dad. No, someone will come back and bury them when this disease has burned itself out.
She's talking about burying her dad so casually as if she's talking about taking out the garbage. But I can say something nice here.
No one's coming, Fran.
Harold is already my favorite part. They're trying to do this sweet moment where she's putting her dad's medals on him, which would be nice if we saw him for more than a few seconds. Now all I know about him is that he takes great photoshopped pictures and... he's still a little gassy. It really saves money on the budget when everything's already destroyed. I guess they couldn't afford LeBron James to play the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar role. The way this is paced, though, maybe episode 3 will show the mass chaos. Oh, but there's still some cameos.
My fellow Americans, we cannot afford to jump at shadows.
Thanks, President Bryan Cranston. What's with disaster movies always wasting Bryan Cranston? No time for that now, though. Gotta get to the, sexy dead body burying scene. Excuse me, I'll use my wife's joke for this one. This is what it feels like when you first moved to Springfield, Illinois. I wonder if this is a Mother Abigail vision.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Oh, never mind. Oda Mae Brown is the spiritual leader in this one. Now to tell Stu that shoving 6 guinea pigs up his ass did not in fact lead to a vaccine. This looks like if the sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog just reused the script from Project Alf. Though weirdly enough, it does give someone bigger 90s hair than in 1994. I've still got some thoughts about Harold here.
Fran, I have a plan. Fuck, that rhymes.
Much like Corin Nemec, I hope this guy also goes on to play Ted Bundy in a movie. Anyway, on with more exposition that just describes to us General Starkey. Only this isn't like the other exposition scene. No. In this one, they're playing cards together. The characterization in this series can be described like this.
Alright, you know where to find me.
Person coughs, other person looks concerned. And also making random scenes sexy, like a vomiting suicide attempt scene. Hey, this part looks familiar.
I'm feeling happy.
Me too. Where's Crowded House? I guess we probably should find out more about the virus.
Franny, we're the only ones left alive in this whole town. That means the fatality rate for this virus is well over 99%.
Hoax. Harold has a plan for survival, which involves looking for buried treasure, I assume. Is that what Mother Abigail is telling these people?
You know, if it weren't for those lions, we'd be running the joint.
That's not even the right animal. I'm very disappointed we didn't get a remake of the Joe Bob Briggs scene. This version could have featured a not nearly as good horror host. Oh, and I think Stu has to escape the Umbrella Corporation or something.
Come on, Doc, you gotta tell me how to get the fuck out of here.
Edgy. Oh man, that guy is sick too, whoever that guy is. The virus is weird in this. It gives everyone old man turkey neck. Filled with delicious gravy. Oh, and new Bub is also dead. There are sequences that aren't badly shot, but I have the feeling we're about to get even more exposition, such as a long speech about where the Matrix came from.
Looks like we're the last men standing here.
And how to do a sweet drum solo. The casting of J.K. Simmons as General Starkey is good casting, but before, this character had a real arc. Here, it's like if they just explained to us all the Ed Harris plot points, and then introduced the character during his death scene.
Contingencies. If X, then Y.
You're telling me he was ready to kill me to keep a secret?
Of course, this has a version of, so what you're telling me is... Sorry, more exposition.
My daughter gave me this book.
That's nice, stranger. Anyway, he's dead now. Back to Harold writing El Heraldo on every wall, complete with a soundtrack.
Yeah, when I was only 17.
It's a quirky indie romance now. Yeah, there's end of the world shit going on, but that's taking away from the Herald show.
I choose to think of them as the two great virtues. To give away pride and hate is to say you will change for the good of the world.
Did I say it was a quirky romance? I meant that it's a teenage taxi driver. Hey, some movies have a save the dog moment. This one has a save the Paul Rudd look-alike moment. Gee whiz, Apocalypse movie, your random scenes with non-characters are interrupting this stalker thriller. Wait, that wolf isn't Abigail, it's Randall Flagg that was in Lion King. Wait, I'm all over the place. But there is one thing I know for sure.
Out west, he could be a prince.
It's still not the Matrix. This is a world where 1% of the population survived in a series where I only like 1% of the scenes. Okay, I like that part, but it's followed up by something that pisses me off. This is literally the next scene. We're jumping right into Stu and Franny not only know each other, but are in a relationship, and she's pregnant. The first one was a little clunky with some of that, but this is ridiculous. The other one at least told a story. This one is just giving it to you in parts, like it's a comic book villain origin.
And just maybe, I'll kill her, too.
So is he gonna turn into the Joker yet or not? I remember how the first part in the original really made you want to see where it was all going. This one has so many moments where I thought, God, is it still going? Oh, and all the stuff they told us about earlier about Charlie leaving and taking the virus with him. Yeah, it does show us that, because that's what it ends with. So it can tell us that Randall Flagg was behind it this whole time. That's the end, by the way. The first episode shouldn't be called The End. It should be called The End? And it's not a shock that a King adaptation has a Skarsgård in it. God, this is like The Stand made for the one person who asked, what if The Stand were written in paste like Gotti? And there's 8 more parts to this. Maybe it'll get better? It doesn't get better, unless you wished the first episode was longer, in which case this one is 5 minutes longer. Yippee! Episode 2, titled Pocket Savior, came to us on a dark and snowy December 24th. Merry Christmas Eve, assholes! Why even have a previously on? The whole first episode was already edited like a previously on. This isn't helping shit! And none of it helps me understand why this man is carrying the world's biggest barrel of mayonnaise. Look, we know you were upset by the first episode. That's why we're just gonna show an episode of the Mist TV series. You liked that one, right? I can't wait until episode 3 when they remake Quitters Inc. Though I'm getting the same feeling I had in the first episode.
Oh, good. You're up. I made breakfast.
Smells great.
I don't know who either of you are! Amber Heard plays a bigger elephant in the room than Randall Flagg appearing in a car. Actually, she's Nadine, and Jovan Adepo is playing Larry. Sure, it would have been nice to know their story before this random scene, but this new adaptation is making damn sure that even if you've read the book or seen the original miniseries, it will still be a challenge for you to recognize the characters. This is like trying to follow The Stand after you've had an actual boulder fall on your head. Sure, why not just immediately cut to them meeting at the Boulder Free Zone with Stu? No need for a proper introduction.
Which one of you is Larry Underwood?
I don't know. Is that me? Welcome to the second episode of The Tie. It's what we're having for dinner tonight. Oh, we still get to see his backstory, because the 2020 Stand is like one of those mid-2000s shows that were trying to capitalize on the success of Lost. Larry will be our Charlie of the series. Finding out someone is sick in this world is as subtle as an actual extinction event. She must have seasonal allergies. Come to hear Larry sing, but stay for his former business partner Wayne showing up.
Hey, Mrs. Underwood, remember me?
I used to hide my purse whenever you visited.
I love going to a concert and then primetime melodrama happens. Here's where we find out all the terrible things Larry did.
I believe this fucking clown used to be my roommate, listening to my records? Stole some too when he moved.
It's great when hecklers are really good at giving the audience exposition for their fight. The music flashback must be a cue for the soundtrack to kick in. Meanwhile, in Rob Zombie's The Stand, Nat Wolff plays Lloyd Henry. Don't worry, we see what puts him in prison. It's for doing a flashback within a flashback. I wish I was watching the Revelation Road movies. This is like Inbred from Dusk Till Dawn. Can't wait till they end up at a strip club where the strippers turn into Joe Camel. They linger on shots like his partner's exploded jaw hanging from his face. If only they put extra time into the story, instead of just giving us this speed freak of a script. Oh, we're post-pandemic now.
How do you know who I am?
How do you think?
Mother Abigail?
The Stand novel is rich with characters. This series is rich with props that speak. Well, some of them speak. Sorry, Joe. Fuck you too! Anyway, we just met, but can you do me a favor?
I was wondering if you would be willing to take responsibility for him.
Oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. Don't Google me. I'm starting to think Larry has the best idea. This'll make 9 hours of an inferior Stand adaptation go by fast and ditch the one-night stand.
You're not gonna ask for my number? I thought you were a nice guy.
Right? The coke on the side of his bed really gave him Good Samaritan vibes. Unfortunately, he meets back up with his mother, who learned the hard way that hospital food can be nasty. Mom must have tried some of his heroin. Long story short, she has a needle in her heart. I love that through all of this, his former partner Wayne is still pissed.
And you! Over a fucking song? My song!
I'd laugh, but 2020 has proved that people can still be really petty, even during a global pandemic. At least we got to know Larry's mom slightly better than Franny's dad.
I'm sorry, I'm such a fuck-up, Mom.
Though everyone's just as nonchalant about parent death. He seems more concerned about Wayne, who in his dying words still tells Larry he'll never make it as a musician. Yeah, whatever. Wayne's got the drugs. Meanwhile, is it church potluck day? Just kidding. Every day is church potluck day. Quick, remind us who we are again.
You Underwood?
That's what the script tells me. Oh, but there's more. Let's throw in another important character out of nowhere.
Larry Underwood, Nick Andros.
I don't know if it's a good idea to have both Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in this. This time around, Nick is played by Henry Zaga, a surprise to everyone who would have just assumed James Marsden would play Nick based on the cast list. Poor Larry has it rough. He doesn't know if this is a vision or just the drugs. Though it has a cameo for how I would spend the apocalypse. Look, I'm just glad this show slowed down for a few minutes.
I'm gonna run around that field stark naked to my heart's content, and then I'm gonna jerk off all over home plate.
You didn't even lose me with that dialogue. At least this guy feels like a character. But let's leave him behind and find someone unnecessarily eerie. Heather Graham plays wealthy socialite Rita. Rita wasn't in the original miniseries, since her character was blended in with Nadine when she and Larry escaped through the Lincoln Tunnel. And in case you needed to know why the episode is called Pocket Savior, it's Larry's new album. There, now you know. Oh, sorry, did I talk over this escalating quickly? Hey, don't let the crows picking eyeballs out of horses stop you from the hot Skinamax bang session. 99% of the world may be dead, but there will always be a moment when you say to yourself, maybe this won't be so bad. Better hurry up and get to round 2 of the lovemaking. Because the virus works very fast. Sure, you could stay safely in your high-rise, but, there's other movies outside.
What do you want? I'm gonna give you $1 million if I can borrow her for 15 minutes.
See? It's indecent proposal now. This guy is played by Camden Filtness, an actor with the closest name to sounding like a post-apocalyptic yuppie. It sure doesn't take long for the survivors to get all rapey as hell. If you're expecting them to escape through the Lincoln Tunnel like before, no, that would be too expensive. Let's just have them escape through the sewer. That's much cheaper. It reminds us that Andy Dufresne crawled through a river of shit just so he wouldn't have to watch The Stand remake. Sure, battling an army of sewer rats may seem unhealthy, but over in the Battlefield Earth prison, they're a 5-star platter. Why bother with that when we've already established the bodies are filled with delicious gravy? Yeah, you eat that leg. But back to a studio backlot. This is good and all, but it doesn't come with the free shit and water like the sewer did. Hey, weren't there other characters in the first episode?
If you're alright, I guess I'm gonna go find Harold. I got his address. So.
Oh right, Harold, arguably the star of episode 1. I completely forgot about him already in episode 2. No time for that though, back to the sewer.
Larry?
Ma.
Why don't you come see me?
That happened. You gonna jump ahead again? Oh, guess there's more shit they want to happen first, like a rat coming from his mom's mouth. This is a Mother Abigail vision, I guess. Come and see me, honey child, but before you do, I'm gonna scare the shit out of you. Captain Trips is a weird virus god. Sometimes it's a slow, bedridden, pneumonia-like death. Other times it'll get your ass in traffic, or while you're eating in a restaurant at full capacity. Okay, now we can jump ahead in time, just when I was about to fall asleep.
I'm looking for Harold Louder. How can I help you?
Harold's back in it, thank God. But enough of that, let's jump back in time again. When Rita tries killing herself, it should be an emotional moment. If sandwiched between the scenes wasn't Larry and Joe dicking around looking for Harold's house. Even Nadine looks confused. It's okay, even I don't know why we're in the story. I too would be looking around, regardless of the sound. Just as I figured, land shark. Okay, enough with the prison. We all know Randall Flagg is gonna let him out. Just get to it. And do it while being stupid about it. Alexander Skarsgård is already a better Randall Flagg than McConaughey in The Dark Tower, but editing alone makes this an even worse product than that was. Though I like where his head's at.
I'm gonna make you my right-hand man, Lloyd.
I see nothing wrong with making Lloyd your right-hand man. He's the one with all the explosives. Lloyd will join them in an unending quest for more movie references.
I believe this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
That's the end, by the way.
I rode my bicycle past your window.
And they're leaving us with yet another memory of a better movie as they're playing Brand New Key by Melanie. Get it? You should be watching Boogie Nights instead. I spent this whole time thinking, oh my god, there's still 7 episodes of this left, but now I have something even worse to dread. In episode 3, Christmas will be over, and I'll have to take my onesie off. Great, now I'm stuck with a bad series, and I'm not as comfortable anymore. Plus, the comfy onesie is just on the floor mocking me. Then again, so is the one from several years ago. I should really do some cleaning. If episode 2 was how you spent your Christmas Eve, then I'm sure episode 3 was how you spent your New Year's Eve, since that's when it premiered. Ugh, even for 2020, that's lonely. The episode opens with another previously on, and I love how the first line pretty much sums up my feelings on this adaptation so far.
What the fuck did you guys do?
But we need to go back even further than that. After all, this whole show is just a series of flashbacks.
This is how we do it.
See, we're in 1995 now. I'm tired of asking who these people are and what's going on. I'm just going to assume this is a YA series now. Sorry, she's just laughing at how bad the Craft sequel was. In the book, they're using a Ouija board, but due to copyright, they had to make up some game here. And all that does is just make me wish Mike Flanagan did this series instead. The spirits have arrived to show us that this is a young Nadine, telling her that Nadine will be my queen. Why are you upset? That's one hell of a confidence boost. This is just what the internet wanted, an Amber Heard origin story. Or is it? I don't know. Let's go hunting now. Not exactly sure who this guy is, but the name of the episode is Blank Page, so maybe it's that page where this is explained. So this is Henry Heck Drogan, who in the book was crucified in Vegas after being caught using drugs.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, I get it. Thanks. In the book, he doesn't make it to Boulder, but here he gives them the message.
He's coming.
That's right, Stan is coming. Whatever. 5 minutes in, let's just kill time.
Be if you're happy for me, dying every second.
Somehow I'm not surprised that not even a plague could kill off a clothes-changing montage. It's getting intense though. Joe is hiding for more scary editing. I didn't add that. That's really how this is edited. Might as well flash back to Nadine meeting Larry for the first time. After all, in episode 2, we saw them hanging out and having burgers, but sure, in episode 3, let's introduce them. And if you missed episode 2, we'll explain that as well.
Yo, I got out of New York with a woman, and she killed herself.
Wait, Rita actually did kill herself? I just assumed it was an attempt. It wasn't really followed up on. I should know when a damn character is dead. But hey, at least Joe is enrolled in a school now or something. Whatever, Nadine's hot.
She may be the hottest woman on Earth.
Careful, dude. We haven't seen Stu and Franny have a meet-cute yet, let alone a conversation. But sure, let's spend time at the ultrasound for the baby. What, are we gonna see them conceive now? Here's me pretending I don't know who the real dad is. Well, maybe. Now the episode is about the Harold and Franny roadshow. After at first being the Nadine backstory, then some message with this guy. I'm glad we're seeing the Harold and Stu love story, though, when Stu catches Harold peeing. The hardest job on this series is the poor asshole who has to write the episode summary. Harold wants to send Stu away, but she wants to keep him around, clearly because she'd rather spend time with Clark Kent than Lenny Luthor. Harold has his reasons.
You can throw in with this happy asshole and his fucking dimples with no way to know for sure that he's not Jeffrey Dahmer.
Thanks, Charles Starkweather. Gary Sinise is the ultimate Stu Redman, and it would be near impossible to top that. But in this first conversation with Franny, Marston is really likable and charming. This should have been shown to us before these sequences. But back to the, I guess, present, where Nick tells them what we already know, that Drogon is from Vegas. But do you know who we don't really know yet? Nick! Good thing that's now the plot of the episode! Nick Andros is the deaf mute who is good at unwillingly getting himself into bar fights, but even in a fantasy sequence is very unlucky at cards. They are gonna love you on Team Vegas.
I want to make you my right-hand man.
Don't trust him, he's already cheating on Nat Wolff. Flag warns him that something is gonna happen to his eye. Maybe he should join Randall then. Yes, piss off the Warlock. Reality isn't any less weirder than the dream. Even during a global pandemic, there's still plenty of bed space for bar brawls. A bar brawl that took his eye. Maybe he should have joined Randall. We know he's a good guy because he shows compassion to the man who attacked him. After it's already been established he's a good guy. But then Randall Flagg turns him into a dog. Please, allow me to just make up my own story. Also, the episode's about Glenn Bateman now, the sociology professor played by Ray Walston in the original, and now Greg Kinnear. Again, when I saw the casting, I would have just figured Kinnear would have been playing Stu Redman. I guess we can have caviar with Stu and Glenn after the episode was about Nick Andros, after it was about Harold and Franny, after it was about Nadine. Though there is a great piece of acting from Marston here, where without saying any words, he goes from being disgusted by caviar to liking it.
She died 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years in August.
I'm okay with this scene. When it starts getting into too much exposition, they give up and do drugs. Unfortunately, drugs still don't make this series make sense. Oh, don't worry, the scene still pounds you with exposition, this time about the effects Captain Trips had on animals. But they're doing it while high, so it makes the scene passable.
And rats? What sort of horseshit Judgment Day spares the rats?
Sadly, it quickly cuts to black after I'm assuming the episode crashed. And when it wakes up, it's with Nick and Mother Abigail. This show is like a blackout drunk that remembers parts of the night that it made an ass out of itself. Sure, Whoopi Goldberg is really good casting for Mother Abigail and all, but I think the episode should now be about Tom Cullen.
My name is Tom Cullen. I'm 42 years old and developmentally disabled.
You trying to update the original's dialogue?
I hate being retarded.
But you know what they say, M-O-O-N, that spells, where is this going?
You know, you sure are quiet. M-O-O-N, that spells quiet.
I guess it's slightly a step up from Bill Fagerbach playing the role like a live-action abominable snowman. Here, Tom Cullen is like a post-apocalyptic malfunctioning robot.
My name is Tom Cullen. I'm 42 years old. My name is Tom Cullen. I'm 42 years old.
Nick may be deaf, but he can still understand awkward dialogue.
Wonder why she didn't tell me. Nice old black lady from inside my head.
My God, I too am in the mood for pancakes. Enough of that. I wonder what Joe and Larry are up to.
I think we've got a ringer on our hands.
Cool. Anyway. Oh my God, what did we do last night? I woke up with minute ticks in my nostrils? Okay. I misspelled something when I wrote this script, and I'm too far removed from writing it to understand what the context is I'm talking about. Stu finds a shocking discovery about Glenn. He's the artist that paints all of those Ghana movie posters. This is the one for the color purple. Plus, he owns the weirdest pregnancy test I've ever seen, where his visions predict that Franny will become pregnant.
You didn't say she was pregnant. Well, she wasn't pregnant.
I now know what I must do. Impregnate Franny? I'm still playing dumb about the father. God, this is the biggest Meanwhile and Anyway series I've ever seen. Anyway, back in Boulder where Glenn and everybody know each other and, I don't know, are talking about having an election.
Mother Abigail, we're having a conversation about...
Glenn Bateman, I love you, but there's nothing to discuss.
Oh, and they're really close with Mother Abigail now. This series gives new meaning to anticlimactic. She summons life back into Drogon to give us more exposition that we already know, this time about Randall Flagg.
The hard case. The walking dude.
And again, be stupid about it. We saw his message before, but now he has an all-new message from Randall. Ooh, The Exorcist is now on Blu-ray.
I'm gonna blow your house down.
Along with a Three Little Pigs cartoon. What? If I want that kind of reference, I'll definitely stick with The Shining. Anyway, the episode started as a Nadine backstory, so might as well end that way too, where we find out that Nadine is evil and was sent to Boulder to be a spy for Randall. I do like that in this version, Nadine does seem perfectly normal and approachable before we find out she's a psycho who has the hots for Randall. In the previous version, she was clearly a nutso from the beginning. And the spirits have told us that we should instead end with a scene of Harold throwing away Drogon's body. And just like I've said in the last 2 episodes, that's the end, by the way. Stop putting in a good soundtrack to trick me into thinking this is good. Well, since it's New Year's Eve and all, I guess I should have a glass of champagne and pour it on the TV so I don't have to watch anymore. We'll see you in 2021. I've got nothing to say here because my original joke is already dated. So, Episode 4 has found the right formula in making this series watchable. The name of the episode is House of the Dead. Sure, the show still sucks, but it could be worse. You could be watching the movie House of the Dead. I can't wait until episode 5, Angry Asian Murder Hornets. But back to episode 4. Who cares? I guess Franny is writing in her diary, which makes everyone really confused as to why it starts with Wednesday, goes back to Monday, and then jumps ahead to Friday. I bet something's gonna happen. There's a montage. I know what it is. They're getting ready to watch The Yearling at the community center. Any other cool news?
But I wouldn't shoot with...
Sweet. Guess he kicked that habit. Has it already reached a point where we're just repeating the good scenes from the previous episodes?
He sang a song as all...
Tom Cruise would disapprove of you not wearing a mask to this meeting. Ah yes, I remember this. It's the town hall meeting announcing the Knights of the Round Table in the Boulder Free Zone.
How about you start by telling us about that poor fella you brought into the infirmary yesterday?
Enough of your rabble, rabble, rabble! Let's get to Stu's speech. And by that, I mean let's cut to a flashback to see who is gonna give the speech. Now that we've gotten that information out of the way, rabble, rabble, rabble! Although Larry is also quite the speaker, once he threw his random medication out of the way, I'm assuming they're deciding on who's gonna run the soon-to-be-built K's Merchandise Mart. I'm already bored by this!
I'll make this as painless as possible so we can all get out of here and have a beer.
Thank you! The 1994 The Stand truly gets the meaning of life. Oh, and if you think he's gonna give a speech now, it flashes back again to debating on what the speech is gonna be about. This series is 9 episodes because every scene is 2 scenes. One showing someone doing something, and then another of them describing what they're gonna show, and not even in the right order. Okay, what they're really doing is starting a neighborhood watch. What? You don't already have that? You're leaving the K's merchandise unguarded? Funniest part is the audience reacting like the TV audience.
What happened?
Don't look at me. I'm just waiting for Harold to do something crazy.
I'd like to put a motion on the floor to accept the slate
of ad hoc committee members in toto.
And then Harold was elected as the town Antichrist. Oh, it's The Stand I've been watching. I've run out of fake titles. When Harold meets the evil Nadine, I'm not sure if this needed to happen. Harold's doing just fine going off the deep end on his own. However, she's still seducing him into the League of Discount Easter Candy.
What do you want from me?
I want to make your dreams come true.
Normally, this is where I'd say, don't do it, dude. But his life's shitty now anyway. Yeah, nothing good will come of this, but screw it. Although she does tell him to kill Stu and the others. So, yeah, he probably should have just masturbated. What a way to sell your soul. She stays clothed and he looks bored. If you're confused though, they flash back to 2 months earlier when he started Operation Get Laid.
I'm thinking about you, Franny. It's all I ever think about.
Okay, any fool can see why these two didn't end up together. Harold is destined to star in his own post-apocalyptic remake of Last American Virgin. As we cut to Stu and Glenn bootlegging beer to the county from Jericho. I'm not even done with this sentence and we're back to Franny and Harold on the road where a truck driver decided to be a dick before he died.
He died as he lived. A fucking douchebag.
Whew, thank God he's alive so he can hear it when I call him a dick. I sure hope they get out of this jam, considering half the scenes I've seen have taken place after it. Laugh now, but Harold is gonna lay into you on Twitter. Can we just skip to where someone steps in and saves them? Never mind, maybe they would be better off with Harold saving them. Anyway, ladies, my name is Stu. Thank God I saved you. Whoa, settle down there, Death Proof. And now we know how they joined the caravan.
I want to see if you want to join a little caravan to Boulder.
I wonder if they'll join the caravan. God, this series should be called Stephen King's The Spoiler. You better sleep it off, show. This is the longest episode so far at an hour long exactly. When you wake up, let's do it on the hood of the car that Harold is sleeping in. After being cryptic, of course.
Are you having other dreams? One with a man in them?
Calls himself the Dark Man.
Wait, Dark Man? So that's why you made this reference earlier? Lousy foreshadowing? You have soiled the memory of Bobby Terry. Sorry. I'm ruining this magical moment for you.
I'm pregnant.
Okay, at first I was gonna say, isn't this only the second time they've met? But this version sticks with the book where she's pregnant from her pre-plague boyfriend Jesse Ryder. Though I still find it hard to believe that someone named Jesse Ryder didn't survive the apocalypse. They all better gear up. We got one movie reference explained, so best set up another possible foreshadowing moment.
You think he's still alive? Who? The Rock.
This is foreshadowing that Randall Flagg will be defeated by a rock falling on his head from a skyscraper. The gang all decides that they should send a spy to Vegas. I'm not entirely convinced they know each other's names yet. They have the chemistry of a group that just met.
I think it's important to acknowledge this is a direct violation of Mother Abigail's instructions.
Every line in this show could be followed up with, I'll take your word for it. Time to assemble their spy group. First, there's Dana.
So you want me to drive myself across the Rocky fucking Mountains with no ability to call for help?
So you want me to sum up the off-screen conversation we just had? Got it. This is a good choice. Natalie Martinez was in Under the Dome. She has experience. And I guess we should give one of the other important characters something to do.
Hey, I really think we ought to consider Tom Cullen.
In this version, they just agree to send Tom. What? You don't want to reenact this scene?
You drove me out because you were afraid I might have a woman and fill her belly up with a retard like me.
So now it's settled. Let's send this group of spies to Vegas.
M-O-O-N, and that spells Hemingford home.
Oh God, the side effect of Captain Trips is giving time itself dementia. What other characters are we missing? Oh right, Julia. She was Shawnee Smith in the other one. Here she looks like a lone wolf influencer without a cell phone in sight. Whoa, okay, God, this show is so slow yet so fast.
Hey, mister, look what I found.
Oh, that's why. They have to race to have sex before Tom Cullen kills the mood. Julia in this version is equally as crazy as she was in the other.
You see, your friend here wants me to tell you his name. It's Amari Tard.
Whoa, careful there, crazy lady. You don't want to get offensive.
Hey, don't you think that it's time for you to ditch that Tard?
She's making up for the fact that there's no longer any social media to cancel her. In fact, she tries to straight up murder them. Sucker, at least Harold had sex for 3 seconds. The ghost of Christmas Present is packing and she is pissed. You might want to take a breath before we get to the series' most unsubtle cameo yet.
Guess we'll have a girl along with us once we find Mother Abigail, but that's not really the same, is it, Slugger?
Why not just stick your finger out and point at it? As you can see, this confirms it that yes, Teddy Wyzak survived this outbreak too. By the way, here's the House of the Dead the title is referring to. Oh, sorry. Anyway, and that's the story about how the gang got together to get rid of Tom Cullen.
The full moon. Ow! M-O-O-N, and that spells full.
Yes, that's nice. Here's a basket of cheese sandwiches. Don't forget to send us a postcard. Oh, they're still voting on this? We needed 3 separate scenes that served the same function? This episode should be called 12 Lethargic Men. Maybe we should consult the diary to find out what's going on. Or not, because she's probably writing about February 10th, 2003 for no reason. I bet they told Tom they're actually sending him to Dollywood on a bike that they said could fly if he rides it really fast. I'll miss this friendship. You know, the one that exists because the show tells us it does.
You have an earring.
He sure does. But anyway, back to being about Harold and Nadine getting explosives. They should just go to Lloyd's house, there's plenty. And on the night they got the generator working too. Little did they know they're in every small town from a Hallmark Christmas movie, complete with a guitar solo. Yeah! And then he jumps into an empty swimming pool and dies. Speaking of dies, it finally hit me who the fake Paul Rudd is supposed to be.
It's Teddy Wyzak from the Body Crew.
No, we've already established this is Teddy. Originally, Teddy dies in the explosion from the bomb that they later plant, but here, we've already got enough useless characters, so one needs to go. Cue the soundtrack.
If you do want me, give me.
This ends with one of my favorite songs, Gimme a Little Sign by Brenton Wood, but putting a song I love in something I hate only makes me hate the show even more. This song and these actors deserve better. Now calling it House of the Dead pisses me off because the movie sucks, yeah, but the arcade game doesn't. I could be playing the House of the Dead game. Sadly, episode 5 is not called Angry Asian Murder Hornets. Instead, it's called Fear and Loathing in New Vegas. Great, this is going to be like the new Monkeys to Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas's original Monkeys. And no matter what kind of monkey you see, it will probably be a drug hallucination. Let's take a moment, though, to remind ourselves who is definitely dead.
I got out of New York with a woman, and she killed herself.
Never forget Rita. But we got other characters to focus on, like one of the spies, what's her name?
A flash dance! A flash dance!
Oh, right, her name is Movie Reference. Here, you go with Gem and the Holograms, or sorry, I mean Julie Lowry. Yes, I know I called her Julia earlier. I'm just making sure you're still awake. Dana tells her she wants to see Randall Flagg due to her dreams, which must be why they're all building a Freddy Krueger nightmare set. Say what you will about this episode, though. Unlike the last one, this one is Lloyd approved.
Look at who we got here.
No, not because Lloyd Henry is in it, but so our Lloyd can show an out-of-context 911 Lone Star clip later. He's dressed like Flagg didn't pardon Lloyd. It looks like he pardoned Joe Exotic. Thankfully, he's describing how Flagg saved him. You know, after the previously on showed us how Flagg saved him. And how did he save him? With suddenly ambitious cinematography.
This place, you can be anything you want to be here. All it is a question of motivation.
Ah, good. I always wanted to be the bungee jumping opening scene from GoldenEye. However, not everyone's gonna get a cushy Vegas job. We'll catch up as soon as we finish the transition shots. Vegas has a way bigger budget than Boulder. Where's our other spies?
My name is Tom Cullen. My name is Tom Cullen.
And then they fix Tom like they fix their slot machines. Just bop him on the side of the head. New Vegas looks awesome. This is way better than Boulder. This series presents it like a modern-day Tiberius's Island of Capri. Seriously, there is so much I can't show here. From strippers to so much head, they might as well show the stomach-ass man from Caligula. However, these two aren't up for partying. It's hard for me to mourn. I just found out Teddy's name. You know, Teddy, as it flashes back again to something that could have also been on the previously on. If you're worried about Teddy's body, they got it covered.
You ever heard of a guy shooting himself in the chest?
Laura said it happens more than you think.
Yes, but explain the clothespins on his balls. This is quite the mystery. Is it suicide or foul play? They're really wishing Columbo survived the outbreak. I don't know, I guess we should talk to his friends?
There's no possibility it was, accident.
Okay, who needs Columbo? Harold is clearly guilty. Harold wants to open up a drive-in in Teddy's honor. Seriously.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
A drive-in and no mention of Herschel Gordon Lewis? That is suspicious. This isn't a good day for anyone, as Mother Abigail is very pissed they sent spies. Plus, mini Twix, that's the word I misspelled. I was gonna say he woke up with mini Twix in his nostrils. Wow, can't believe I bungled that golden joke. Anyway, while Grandma is watching Touched by an Angel, let's flip over to Skinamax. These Vegas scenes have everything. Limp-dicked three-ways, naked people straight up banging in an elevator, fights to the death. This is like Action Park crossed with Bartertown. I might as well be reviewing Cruising, I'm having to cut around so much. But hey, I can show Tom Cullen's audition for Leatherface. I say give him the job. CBS has come a long way since Diagnosis Murder. The only thing these people are going to the hospital for is if a light bulb got stuck up their ass. Remember, it's what the Lord wanted.
The world that was.
Also, they're Scientologists now. It is creepy when he appears to see Dana in the audience and looks right at her. Ooh, Flag is an attentive lover.
So, when do we get to meet the man upstairs?
You're gonna have to be more specific. There's hundreds of men upstairs, and they're all clamping each other's nipples in the steam room. Also, Flag is busy at the moment. He's gotta come up with an excuse for the old ball and chain.
You gave me to Harold.
Arguably the worst thing Randall Flagg has done. Though he is far less awkward than Harold.
Right, it's gotta be urgent for you to risk being seen with someone like me.
Oh God, Harold.
You're creeping out the crazy lady, Harold. He just misses Teddy. That's why he's gonna show a double feature at the drive-in of Carrie and Jennifer. Harold does have more of a conscience in this one compared to the 1994 version, which is odd because he's simultaneously more off-putting.
I heard you were headed this way.
Who said that?
I don't know, just someone at the hub.
I'm sorry, is he gonna eat her?
Do you want to come for dinner? Stu and I would love to have you.
Could you not invite the cannibal to dinner? Granted, she only did this so Larry could search Harold's house. Interesting plan, but downside, that means you have to have dinner with Harold. Also, they can search for her missing copy of Invasion of the Bee Girls. Another great drive-in feature. But just in case you needed to know how to swing an axe.
Bring your top hand down to meet the bottom one when you swing, and it's, won't sting as much on your hands.
She learned that from watching two people jerk each other off in New Vegas. And Nadine ain't so bad. She just remembered that Joe exists after being neglected by the show for so long. I'm sure he's around here somewhere.
Thank God.
Nadine is not a fan of the movie Clara's Heart. We need to leave now, Joe. Now that the series has settled the fuck down on its flashbacks, these characters are starting to feel a lot warmer and more fleshed out. It shouldn't have taken 5 episodes for that to be the case. Just remember, people may be making necklaces out of testicles in Vegas, but here in Boulder...
Hi!
Hi!
Come on in, how are you?
Good.
Welcome.
They're getting ready for the most uncomfortable house party since House on the Edge of the Park. So what's the countdown to Harold making it awkward?
I'm gonna tell you about that, do I?
Well, it must be even tougher now that we're suddenly down a man.
0 seconds! Franny's gotta finish some work, though. She has to get this shipped off to New Vegas. Someone wants to shove it up their pee hole. Though Larry has appeared to have found something.
What's wrong, is it Joe?
He found crazy. It was at this point Larry decided, I'll just tell Stu I found some stolen cans of SpaghettiOs. Boy, is she direct.
I want you to fuck me, Larry.
She's used to having to spell things out clearly to Harold. Although he still turns her away. In his defense, Harold is the only one with a PS5, and he hasn't played Red Dead 2 in months. Other than that, everything seems normal at Harold's. Except for the monotone-ass trailer music. It is Harold, though, so if things look normal, that only means he's good at making human skin look like lampshades. While Corin Nemec was great as the original Harold, Owen Teague makes me think that if the original were made in the 80s, he would have been played by Crispin Glover. It still gets weird, like when Harold tricks Franny into thinking she gave him free ice cream as kids, when really she didn't.
Well, I must be thinking of another time, because...
No, you never took me along. Never even invited me.
Well, this is playing out like I thought it would. His mannerisms make me think Larry might not find a bomb in his house, but he may just find the Riddler costume. Wait, never mind, he's Ethan Hunt! The town had a professional spy this whole time! Or something else.
Boo!
He just found his new lampshade. The sequence of Larry having to get out of there before Harold comes back is fairly suspenseful, honestly. Though you know where it's going. It's Stephen King, so someone always has a trap set up for finding out if someone was sneaking through their shit. Also, there may be a loose dog with rabies. Great. Who left the back door open? Before you think it's gonna get sexy in Vegas, we're with the cleanup crew from Hostel Part 3. I wonder if Tom will say his name again.
My name is Tom Cohen. 42 years old.
Oh, knock that shit off.
Hey, that's my line! Dana is quick to pass him a note that warns him that Eddie Murphy's wardrobe has been compromised. Run, Tom, run! Nothing good will come of meeting Randall Flagg. Remember this bit of creepiness? Though it is playing Suspicious Minds, they're showing restraint in waiting this long to play an Elvis song in Vegas. Randall knows she's a spy, and he's gonna get all kinds of info out of her after reminding her what happened to the previous Dana. It flashes back to when she killed the truck driver, and I'm actually grateful for this, because I didn't know until now that that was Dana. My god, even in an episode I like, it still reminds me of how terrible it is at setting up characters. Is this the confrontation we've been waiting for? Considering there's 4 episodes left, I bet that worked. It didn't work. She's dead. I'll say this, the transformation effects are better than in the '94 version. Anyway, they had a long day of hearing about a skinny albino in New Vegas being used as a human pool cue to knock 12 balls into a dwarf's ass. But this is preparing us for the ultimate twist. I've been comparing Harold to both the Joker and the Riddler, but little did you know he's actually Batman. This is enough for Mother Abigail to say, Harold is too weird, I'm going to Vegas. Don't leave yet, though. The episode ends with another cameo from the original. You know, while they could have used that song for no reason other than it was used effectively in the original, I like that they did make it work here by playing it over Harold's creepy-ass smile. Does this mean there's hope yet for Don't Dream It's Over being played somewhere? Well, that episode was a step up. Oh, not because it was actually suspenseful and better paced, but because I can deliver on my promise of a Lloyd 911 Lone Star clip.
And now it's time for Lloyd's Out of Context 911 Lone Star Clip of the Week.
I'm a little tied up right now.
Awkward.
It's actually a very good thing that a week goes by in between episodes. That way I can do some homework on who some of the characters are. For instance, if I didn't do any reading, I never would have known that Fiona Dourif is supposed to be the Rat Man, here renamed Rat Woman. What? Can't you tell that she's supposed to be Willie Lopez? But again, some characters do stand out a little more, and yes, they're still being introduced. See? The show is about the Trash Can Man now. Gentlemen, please, I didn't mean to single out Harold. There's no need to set off bombs. You can both play the Riddler. Damn, guess that's destroyed. Between the orgies and the chainsaw gladiators, things are still too subtle in Vegas.
The one who will bring me the grape. Fire.
So let's bring in Ezra Miller. That'll make things weirder. Plus, we'll give him an even flashier backstory.
Don't you know playing with fire makes you wet the bed?
See, never mind those old boring flashbacks. Now they have the budget for a James Bond intro. I wonder who this mysterious cloaked person is. Whoa, wait, it was Eric from True Blood this whole time? Mother Abigail is still missing, by the way, so they've assembled a massive search party.
Mother Ray, can you hear my voice?
Mother Ray, where are you?
Mother Abigail!
If she got herself lost in the woods, should you really be following her anyway? This is a stressful night for everyone. Ezra Miller is coming in on Harold's weirdness turf, but on the plus side...
Did you know that the Chinese character for crisis includes the Chinese character for opportunity?
Google still works. Now they want to kill everyone and not just the committee. Yes, they have a bomb, but until then, let's play our own game of Will It Fit, just like they do in Vegas. I guess it's a little relatable. Even I'm checking off my calendar the more this series goes on. Even though I instantly know who Trash Can Man is, 6 episodes in, I'm still asking, who the hell is that? Never mind, I guess we have other things to get to. Trash Can Man has already made it to Vegas. He's the perfect candidate to be the new stomach-ass man. That's weird, I'm not used to seeing Ezra Miller be quirky. They want to create a new hell on earth. Bring in Trash Can Man to be the new world Adam Sandler character. Vegas will love Fireboy just as much as the Water Boy. I kinda like Randall though. I ask a question and he answers it.
Been hiding on the edge of the desert, biding her time.
See, now I remember, she's the other spy. I should know this, but when you take so long in between showing an already unmemorable character, I'm going to forget them. Tom, however, I remember. M-O-O. He's gonna be deciphering that code for the remaining episodes, isn't he? Just let him be. Come hell or high water, we are still gonna have our church potluck day because my grandma's potato salad is not gonna be among the billions who are dead. Mother Abigail missing is truly the worst thing that's happened to this town. Must be why Glenn is so focused on completing the day's crossword. Anyone have a 4-letter word for Stephen King's starter?
Fire.
Ah, fire starter, got it! But when Nadine comes in to plant the bomb, she better be subtle about it.
Well, it was the kid's idea.
Ooh, it's a Hell of the Living Dead poster, isn't it? Where do you think I got mine? I just threw the bomb away in the dumpster. See, episode 6 isn't the only thing with a fire budget. Even Harold has to make sure they're still going to the Vigil to be blown up. I'm sure they will. The episode is called The Vigil. Anything else for Harold to contribute?
You know, sleep is actually more important to your health than food.
I'm gonna take that Google phone of yours and throw it in the river. The description also tells me that Mother Abigail and Flagg are going to meet face to face. I guess that description was right. They do meet. It's certainly a scene that happens, but I'm not sure if it's the plot. And absolutely nothing was said in the description about Randall Flagg being an X-Men. Back to Tom, though, when the series reminds me of characters that, again, I haven't forgotten.
Are you actually gonna pick a tard over me?
Of all the clips to use, you pick that one? But do you know who does deserve a proper epic intro? Clifton Collins should always come with his own rockin' introduction. Hey, I have Google too. That's how I know he's playing Bobby Terry. So I guess Sam Raimi did die.
Ooh, Bobby Terry. Bobby Terry.
Yes, thank you. Him I won't forget, but thanks for the effort. Although this hilariously placed ad on the wiki is trying to tell me Bobby Terry is played by another director. Still, at least I know it's Bobby Terry, unlike this person who I just remembered, yet still can't remember her name. At least Clifton Collins is here, and I finally have someone to root for. Great. Thanks for giving me a reason to care, and then immediately taking it away. Though, it might have been worth it just for this line reading.
Bobby Terry! You screwed it up!
Though this does lead to him finding out some key information.
M-O-O-N. That guy, the big guy.
Rob Zombie is right behind me, isn't he? Or that Mr. Moon is Tom Cullen, who is the other spy. They know exactly where to find him. In a dumpster banging corpses. Even though they're still looking for Mother Abigail, I don't know, they don't seem concerned enough.
I got a little idea. Why don't we park it, take a nap, see if Mother Abigail comes to us in a dream.
Just say you're tired and you want to go to bed. I also don't think you should trust someone whose judgment says, I should go into the woods alone with Harold. I bet he shoots him.
Wish I knew why things end up the way they do.
See? Told ya. Just kidding. I don't want him to see me shooting him. That would be embarrassing. Oh, I think they're still searching through Harold's house again. Still 3 parts left, guys. Repeat all the scenes you can. At least I think that's what they're doing. These boulder scenes are pretty dark. Do they need to fix their generator again? I wonder what Randall's up to. Oh, he's just off taking a shit. Just checking. My God, Franny has figured out that Harold is disturbed, and that clearly Batman and the Flash were made for each other. Although even in times like this, you should always look at the upside. He's a more versatile writer than Jack Torrance. She's got a plan, though. If he catches her, she can just leave.
No, Harold!
Worth a shot. Harold has clearly relied too heavily on the notion that this global pandemic would suddenly make him a cool ladies' man. No, you need a 1958 Plymouth Fury for that. I'm sure he's changed, though. A good talking to will calm down this mass murderer incel. But with Dana gone, someone needs to continue the Under the Dome plot points.
No, Harold, no!
Plus, Randall Flagg just got out of the bathroom. Claim it while it's open! I'm surprised Harold and Nadine are getting away with this much, considering Nadine is raising a damn narc.
Nadine and Mommy Nadine are 2 different people.
Just say there's a bomb. I can't rag on Joe too much, though. The kid's got taste.
Be like that again. No one created me.
See, I'd rather be watching Time Bandits right now, too. Yes, it's very suspenseful when Nadine is escaping through the window because Harold's an idiot, but...
43 species of parrots. Nipples for men.
I would still rather be watching Time Bandits. This must be the vigil I've heard so much about in the title. We will come together and fight Captain Tripp's war on Christmas. Maybe the reason Abigail left was because she can't go anywhere for 5 minutes without you people nearly setting her house on fire with your vigils. See? Look at that. No wonder she isn't coming back.
Got her, Stu! We got Mother H! Right.
They found her!
Oh, never mind. Guess they found her. And thankfully, Nick is there to discover the bomb, which is pointless because this place would clearly burn down anyway due to the candles and paper. I'm still not convinced it was the bomb that caused that. They seem like the type that are dumb enough to leave the gas running. I know I should care that Nick blew up, but given how little I feel about it, my reaction to his death is about as deadpan as this.
Nick's dead.
Yeah.
Still, at least he went out burning up the last of Trash Can Man's fire budget. We'll see you next week. We've got to raise more funds for even more explosions. I realize some of you may be taking a break in between the episodes of this review, which is why the previously on segment is crucial even for review purposes. Here, let's catch up again.
She's gone.
She left us!
Mother Abigail went missing.
We got her, Stu! We got Mother H!
They found her!
And then they found her. Just in time, too. This nuclear warhead will be perfect for the We Found Mother Abigail fireworks display. Wait, no. That's a terrible idea. You're gonna cause World War III for the remaining 1,000 or so people. Don't steal a bomb, just stick with this other supersized snob episode. This version of Trash Can Man is like a Mad Max villain crossed with a 90s emo comedy sidekick. Careful, nuclear warheads are very sensitive to people being annoying. I'm fairly certain this skeleton is just pretending to be dead so that Trash Can Man doesn't notice him and scream at him for 90 minutes. But after the last episode ended with the explosion, it's important to remember that yes, Harold and Nadine set off the bomb. Huh, thought the fireworks would be more eventful than that. Is it too late to trade up for a nuclear bomb? Even with the whole terrorism thing, Nadine could still do way better than Harold.
He's gonna give me a woman that makes you look like a potato sack.
In fairness to Harold, there's no more Twitter around for him to leave that comment, so he's forced to do it face to face. Again, in Boulder, it's all about the upside. They conveniently already had their candles with them, so it was easy to go from the Mother Abigail vigil to the oh shit, we got blown up vigil. Their next meeting is going to be about whether candles are a little insensitive for a we got blown up vigil. Not that Mother Abigail would care. Something is urgent, and I know just what it is. She just figured out that Ray here is supposed to be Ralph Brentner. It took me this long to figure this out too, but honestly, I completely forgot about Ralph in the original too. They can talk about it when they're done celebrating.
Franny. Mother Abigail is awake.
That's nice. Could I go back to sleep? I'm pregnant and was just thrown on the ground by an explosion. Oh no, you will get up off your lazy ass so we can listen to Mother Abigail preach.
I have sinned.
Nothing you can say can take me away from my God.
After that reference, she tells them they need to walk on foot to Vegas to confront Flag without any food or water with them, as if they're resurrecting reality shows. It doesn't matter if you're in Vegas or in Boulder, God is a dick! Anything else to make this trip sound horrible? Guess not, cause Mother Abigail is dead now, just like Nick. Wait, is anyone gonna mention Nick?
Nick's dead.
No, not you, I mean in this version. Oh, but this one is clearly better. Look, they have upgraded motorcycles. That makes this the better version. Plus, The crash is in super slow motion. Again, that makes it better. Let's see if he sticks the landing. Damn, if only this were an episode of 911 Lone Star, that definitely would have been the clip of the week. After 2 miniseries, Harold is still shocked that Nadine would betray him. The casting alone should have given you a clue, but in true Harold fashion...
Did I get to you, Cricket Batch?
He's a Batman villain to the end. Or is he Batman? I've lost control over this review's narrative. I sympathize with our heroes, though. I too would be killing time before going on this horrible trip.
Glenn ain't exactly in his 20s anymore.
Well, he's younger than he used to be. This scene is very necessary, only because they finally mention that Nick is dead.
I'd have listened to a lot of innocent people would still be alive today. Nick.
Mother Abigail never mentioned Harold.
But never mind Nick, Harold's way more interesting! Thank God we get to see them all say their goodbyes. Larry is your new parent now, and if Joe misses Nadine, Larry will take him to blow up a Chuck E. Cheese. Seeing this goodbye wasn't enough, we need to see them say goodbye again, complete with a goodbye photo. I've seen 7 episodes and I'm still not convinced you all like each other. Does the town even like them? Some goodbye party this is. So this must be why the episode is called The Walk and not the Take a Bus. But that bastard Harold is still rubbing it in that he may be pinned to a tree, but at least he got to bring food with him. It's what Mother Abigail would have wanted.
No, Mother Abigail would never send us off to get murdered.
Yeah, that was before you got her house blown up. Worst committee ever! It's the little things that don't make sense.
Don't tell me the world's preachiest atheist all of a sudden found religion.
Like, how is anyone still an atheist in this show's universe? Harold's killing time, too. It took him all night to write his will. He wants a double feature of Dirty O'Neill and Bummer to play at the drive-in in his honor. He may be dead, but they'll find his body soon. They just have to do some more padding along the way. This walk is so long, they're running out of transition shots. At one point, they zoom in through the eye of a corpse. It's been taking place inside the head of this dead body this whole time. But between this version and the 1994 version, you can still count on hilarious reactions to people dying.
Oh, Jesus.
While I did enjoy the psychic sense that Stu got when Harold died in the original,
Harold. He's dead.
I gotta admit, joking aside, I may like this reaction to Harold's death even better.
Can't just leave the body uncovered.
Fuck him!
But unfortunately, with this still being the lesser adaptation, they actually use a corpse to pad out the episode even more.
Everyone called me a pansy and I kept going back to prove myself, but I never did it.
He's dead. Why are there more flashbacks? This is like hearing an apology and backstory from Lardass if he just shot up the pie-eating contest. Speaking of, we found the dead body. Can we walk home now? I don't want to dodge any more trains. Hell, we're going so slow that Nadine has lapped us around the country twice. Though if there's one thing that Nadine should know, it's that if you see a mysterious man in the desert, you should definitely stop to investigate it. Seriously, if you're evil, your journey is much easier. These suckers are walking, and with us, one cut and your journey is complete. They are so happy together. You blew up a few people in a house in Boulder. Sweet, mission accomplished. He even has a few more editing tricks up his sleeve. So romantic.
Now you get to be my wife.
Are you sure that's what you want? Nadine has thought this through long and hard, and yes, even took his unfortunate O-face into consideration. She's got steamy, hot desert sex, while all these assholes still have is hilarious underreactions.
Well, shit.
It took you until a foot in front of it to notice that? Well, if you're not gonna pay attention, neither am I. Here's a recycled dog voice for my review of the 1994 version.
I guess I'll be the first one to go. Think of all the poop we could fill up this hole with.
And there's no need to fall. I already have a 911 Lone Star clip of the week. This is when they figure out that finding Harold's body was a sign. Stu needs to write an apology, eat a payday, shoot himself, and let birds eat his face. Then he will be cured. It's when Stu says they should leave him behind and continue forth that they look at him like, "You fell on purpose, didn't you, you cowardly son of a bitch." If you feel like passing out due to the pain of this scene going on for way too long, Flag is nearby to jump you back into it.
I put a spell on you.
See? It's a David Lynch movie now. Or not. Did we forget something in the stew scene?
What are you doing? I forgot that you have the bag with the dog biscuits in them. This is awfully awkward.
See, I can add new dog dialogue, I guess. I'll just be half-assed like the pacing. They're quite upset about the dog missing, but maybe they can get a lift the rest of the way to Vegas. See, they're about to meet Wayne Newton.
Hi, fellas.
Ugh, never mind. It's just Chet Hanks. But I guess a ride is a ride. Maybe Vegas won't be so bad. Just don't screw up and they won't crucify you. Seems like a good deal. They even have way more reliable generators than Boulder, plus a statue to Tarzan. This is what happens to Las Vegas when Neil Breen isn't around to stop unspecified corruption. And just because their journey is over doesn't mean the padding has to stop. Yes, let's just ride the elevator all the way down. Sure, this reunion had to happen, but it's left them very confused. Who did Nadine's hair? And oh my god, were we walking for 9 whole months? And is the dad also CGI? Stay tuned for the penultimate episode of The Stand, where they just ice their feet for a whole episode, due to walking almost 800 miles. You couldn't have put the free zone in Indian Springs, could you, Mother Boulder? We've now come to the hardest part of sitting through a series that you don't like. Sitting through the next to last episode. It's so close, it's so close, it's so close to being done, but it's not. I should be thankful though, because at 48 minutes, this is the shortest episode so far, so thanks for that. But now it's time to begin these episodes like we have been doing, by realizing who dead characters were supposed to be. All right, the old woman was Judge Harris. You know, the character Ozzie Davis played in the original. How could it have taken me so long to figure that out? Isn't it obvious she's an old black man? Our heroes have been captured and taken to Vegas, but with rooms booked, they're put into the shittiest motel they could find.
Fabulous Las Vegas.
Yet Stu still has it worse than all of them. The damn dog shit right next to his sleeping bag, and he's too injured to move. That's as good of an excuse as any to end it all with an ibuprofen overdose.
Don't do it, Stu. You want to end up like Rita? We all remember Rita. Rita's dead.
I would say this would be better if they had a television, but over in Vegas, all they get is court TV. Ratwoman had to take over as the judge once the Scarecrow was crucified, not because he did anything wrong, but it was to keep the face-eating birds away. Also, they killed the other judge. The committee may be sentenced to death, but there is one way to get out of it.
Is renounce the witch and her lies and swear loyalty to the one true motherfucking king.
Well, that's easy enough. Why even go to Vegas if you're not going to swear allegiance to Elvis Presley? I think they have a strong defense. Show them copies of Overlord and Autofocus. Both awesome movies. You can't convict them now. For the most part, Randall is tuning in until he decides he'll just watch the reenactments on the E! Network. Boy, this takes me back to the time OJ taunted the camera and Christopher Darden punched him. The 90s were crazy. Maybe I can get behind this new Netflix crime documentary.
Mr. Bateman, you are now in contempt of court!
Hey, why don't you go fuck yourself?
As long as Greg Kinnear plays every character. God God damn it, I gotta stop cursing characters by saying I like them. That's not a fatal wound. Maybe he's alright. You did that just to spite me, didn't you? They can't even stay in their usual room. The cage was needed for dancing and chainsaw juggling, so they just handcuffed them in the kitchen. I don't know who to root for in this scenario because you do not say this to a pregnant woman.
Larry, bitch, you look bad.
Yeah, the plus side about Boulder was at least there was a far better makeup selection. Nadine looks like the White Queen if 90s Tim Burton directed Alice in Wonderland. Unlike in the 94 version, at first she's happy about this whole being pregnant with the spawn of Satan thing, until she sees what it does to her skin.
Nadine, fucking look! Nadine, look!
Vegas notoriously doesn't have any mirrors. Fine time to go into labor. Good thing they happen to have wheelchairs sitting around for when there's an accidental chainsaw gladiator dismemberment. While something is very wrong with the pregnancy, that doesn't mean he can't let these celebratory cigars go to waste. Unfortunately, Nadine was never meant to survive the pregnancy. Don't you remember that from the original? See, falling out a window is one of the side effects of pregnancy that no one ever talks about. Good thing we now have meds for that. Granted, you'll still die, but the meds will put things in super slow motion and make your death look really cool. With Nadine dead, there's precious little time to point out that it was weird they threw in a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas reference in an Amber Heard series. Sorry, death and pregnancies can make even the worst of us cry.
Are you crying? No.
I'm not crying either. It's so close to being done. Lloyd is now faced with the truth of Randall Flagg's evil. For instance, he is a terrible BFF.
Do you remember when you gave me this? Do you remember giving me this?
New Vegas is so evil it doesn't even respect the rules of a friendship bracelet. And they overwork their staff. Ratwoman also does room service. You should really stop crucifying your hotel staff. Then maybe the heads will be fresher. Seriously, Randall is so sad about Nadine that he sent her head to Larry. Well, for a second I wondered if it was Nadine or Ray, since I don't know where the hell Ray went. Oh, never mind, there's Ray, but who knows at this point? Maybe it's Sheriff Joe Bob Briggs under that hood. Their legal system is warped, but I hope we actually get to see a chainsaw fight. Plus, Tom is very good at his job. He'll make sure their blood is cleaned up with love. I'm expecting madness. Only a tournament of crazy would require this much hype. Stop letting Disney adapt shit. Randall gives a very riveting speech to the group, complete with his subliminal messaging of asking viewers to watch The Watchmen. But where's the chainsaws? I want chainsaws. Wait, they're just drowning them? Lame. That better be a pool of 7-Up. I guess they couldn't crucify them either, since they ran out of telephone poles. But that doesn't mean there's no showmanship. See, there is dancing. You're gonna have to do better than this after the dance I saw in Trump versus the Illuminati.
Play Trump's favorite playlist.
Whew, just in time. Trash Can Man will save us from that movie footage with a nuclear bomb. Sure, there's fights to the death and public executions, but I guess this disappointing drowning display is too much for people to handle, so they've had enough.
Shoot that motherfucker!
No.
Lloyd has the right idea. It's just not the same without Crazy Harold around. Yes, there's still Ezra Miller, but he's more of a does he come with a mute button kind of crazy.
I
did it. And please don't let him play the Incredible Melting Man. They keep it to where an act of God comes in to put a stop to all of this, and I'll admit it does look a lot better than in the '94 version. And yet, when you're this bad at character and storytelling, sure, you can have something incredibly cheesy like this, yet failing the characters will still make this the superior version. Seriously, it's even anticlimactic about killing off characters. Guess she's dead now. And her too! This is a series that's so padded out about everything else that somehow this isn't the final episode. And did you notice Lloyd Henry died in the middle of my sentence? Blink and you'll miss it. Even I'm tired of padding things out. Originally, I wanted to include Indiana Jones and Marion from the end of Raiders, but that would require more work, and we're still so close to the end. We're even saying goodbye to Larry and Ray. And no, they don't drown, they just get blown up, but good. And then radiation drifted over to Boulder and gave them all cancer. Unfortunately, I should have inserted the Indiana Jones clip, given that Tom himself survived by jumping into a fridge before he leaps out to save Stu. If they make it back to Boulder in time, maybe they can see Aurora Borealis. The wise Joe assures them that Randall is no more.
He's gone.
Who is?
The Dark Man.
Okay, you may think he's talking about Flag, but he's actually being incredibly racist about Larry, the little shit. So many people may be dead, but I'll tell you who did survive. Sam and Dave, apparently. I love that song, but I'm not really sure why they're playing it. The Blues Brothers used it 1,000,000 times better. And that's the end of the episode called The Stand, which was also the name of the '94 finale, where most of the things happen from that finale, including New Vegas getting destroyed, yet we still have one episode left. This series could stretch Franny's record collection into 3 episodes. Whatever, just means I get to add another commercial break. You know, I'm already a big fan of this finale because initially I was worried it'd be like 90 minutes or something, but it's not. It's also only 48 minutes, thank God. Let's remind ourselves again of all the images that seems like they'd make up a finale, but don't. In the book, Trash Can Man brought the bomb back to New Vegas for a reason, but here, I don't know, it's because he's quirky. Can't complain too much though. Let's just ride this out to the end.
I wish I could tell you every story has a happy ending. Truth is, most stories don't end at all.
Don't ever threaten me like that when it's this close to being over. The finale is written by Stephen King himself in an episode that's now called The Circle Closes. Okay, I swear a day ago it was called Coda, Franny's in the Well. Granted, The Circle Closes is a better title. The other one sounds like a DVD bonus feature spotlighting the character and actress. I wonder if there'll be changes to the original finale. Oh, you bet there are. Look, her baby is half covered in Joker makeup. My God, that means it's Harold's baby. Or maybe it isn't. The baby has Captain Trips. It could be Wayne who is the father. Even before I'm done with that sentence, the baby's fine now. See, there's a reason Triamenic is still on the shelves. It cures everything. If only Stu were here.
People keep trying to get me to send scouts to Vegas, see if they can find out what happened to our people.
So why don't you?
I keep saying no. It's too dangerous. We can't spare the manpower.
Oh, please. Walking into a radioactive wasteland would be only the 4th dangerous thing this town has done. This finale is all kinds of backwards. They're inviting her to a Christmas party, but the series began around Christmas. It should be a Lincoln's birthday party. Plus, look at me. I had to put on my Christmas outfit again. I'm tired of these holiday parties. Some party this is. That's the saddest Christmas tree I've ever seen. Look, we don't have any ornaments, but we've got plenty of pictures of dead people that we don't want to go to waste. It was a miracle to get them to smile together, so might as well have another act of God. Why does this have the same ending as a Karate Christmas Miracle? Oh, sorry, I should be happy. He gets to see baby what's-her-name.
I mean Abigail.
Damn, he was crossing his fingers she'd name her after Kojak the dog. Plus, they couldn't name her Flag because Randall might still be alive? He must be alive because something stupid still happened. This isn't even my favorite part yet. That goes to this mural that's either a 50-year-old ad for maple syrup or a Ghana poster for Predator. What the hell? We just put the Christmas decorations away and now we're having another party? They had to make things less of a bummer for their Easter party. Jesus is their DJ. They brought back the delicious taste of Sprite. Even Mick Garris showed up to whisper to everyone, my version of the stand was better. Okay, you have 30 minutes to play some Crowded House. Don't let me down. It's gonna let me down. Gotta say though, this looks like a cozy-ass place to live. You'd have to be a fool to leave here.
I want to go back to Maine.
Yes, everyone we know is here, but wouldn't it be great to live alone in an abandoned town that probably still stinks of rotting bodies? The town feels bad for not showing up to watch them leave before the long walk, so here's a handful of them now. Tom's just sad he was promised another flashback of how he nursed Stu back to health after the nuclear explosion. Seriously, I would have allowed that flashback because here, they just kind of show back up. Even Ghost Nick is getting screwed. There are some familiar sights along the way, such as more dicks who decided to die in the middle of the road. They gotta get a good night's sleep. For old time's sake, they just walk the remaining 800 miles. And just because you're in Nebraska and not Texas doesn't mean a chainsaw massacre won't happen, especially now that Vegas is destroyed. This show is weird. There's so many characters I don't recognize, and yet I instantly spot Maturin the Turtle. And there's nothing eerie about this place. Let's just hang out here for a while longer. I know I should be referencing Children of the Corn again, but there's something about this that makes me think they're guarding the pet cemetery with a haunting song.
Now is the needed time.
I know in the first episode I said, maybe it'll get better, but here in the last 20 minutes, it actually does. Strangely, it now feels like the main plot is over, and that this would be a first episode of a second season. It's where we find out that Stu is every dick who bought 1,000 rolls of toilet paper in 2020, and that Franny really shouldn't be left alone. Is she gonna end up in the well? Spoiler alert, original title. But really, it could have also been called Burning Love.
And you light my morning sky with burning love.
Someone's upset they didn't make it all the way to Vegas. You can tell that Stephen King wrote this because it is significantly more suspenseful than any part has been so far. And all joking aside, with the creepy child, the creepy house, corn, a young couple passing through, it really does feel like Children of the Corn now. Like these characters are going through other Stephen King stories. Ooh, Castle Rock has another season! It's even better at giving you chills as soon as Randall Flagg shows back up. You finally feel his menace. And that was more creepy than the entire Larry and Rita versus the Rat Army sequence. Wait, we're in another story. It's the girl who loved Tom Gordon now. I'm sorta surprised that Randall is back. I wasn't sure if he was dead or not, since every other death in that previous episode was anticlimactic. But maybe he can nurse Franny back to health.
I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV.
And now when you see him play Dr. James Dunn on Drunk History, just know that that's really Randall Flagg. This is a great scene where he tempts her to nurse her back to health, and he's so charming at that you totally get how so many people would follow this guy to New Vegas, but saving her life will cost her.
It's just one little thing. I would like a kiss.
This is how Harold thought he looked when he was hitting on Franny. He taunts her by telling her how her baby will die unless Randall helps her. It's like the finale is its own short film. Seriously, you could legit skip the other 8 episodes and just watch this as its own thing. The irony's not lost on me that Stephen King came in to save the ending when he usually gets criticized for endings. It's like watching King come in and save his own characters by finally making you care for them. Plus the acting's really good too.
Not for my husband, not for my baby, not for the world itself!
There's problems when King adapts his own work into a script, but this makes me wish he wrote the whole thing. Even introducing Mother Abigail into this episode packs way more of an emotional punch than her actual introduction into the series. 9 episodes in, and I now see why people look up to Mother Abigail. You can really see her kindness and compassion. It's the first time I've legit cared about any of these characters, outside of, oh, he's over the top and funny, or I like that actor. Though they're still going about things all wrong. The Simpsons taught me you're supposed to get Sting and dig your way into the well. And if you have any kind of injury, just let Mother Abigail the next generation handle it. And then Stu asked, where the hell were you when I fell into a ditch? She's so kind. Before she disappeared, she changed the baby's diaper and got rid of the dog's fleas. And do you know why else this was better? It says 1 week later instead of 1 week earlier. Anyway, in the banner image for a One Perfect Stephen King Shot Twitter account, I think they're starting to feel the loneliness a little.
How would you feel about having 4 more of these little rascals?
God, I hope she means puppies. Maybe she does. Franny can be a little slow sometimes.
I found out that there are 2 sides to the world.
You just found out about good versus evil? In The Stand, that's like finally finding out about viruses. Much of the ending from the book is here, such as the baby with Captain Trips and leaving to start a new settlement, including the uncut epilogue with a naked Randall Flagg invading Cannibal Holocaust.
How's it hanging?
Only Stephen King could conclude this with a dick joke and still make it work. Yes, he gets them to worship him like an evil C-3PO amongst the Ewoks. Finally, I actually want to see where this is going.
Worship me!
Such as maybe they'll play Crowded House over the ending credits.
It's the end of the world.
REM's It's the End of the World. You know what? I'll allow it. That's a good choice. And here I never thought they'd be able to top the dog reaction ending from the original.
Peek, baby.
What a weird ride that was. There are many reasons the 2020 The Stand should be studied. On the one hand, it's a lesson in editing and how you can have a show that is well cast, the acting's good, it's well made, but if one ingredient is off, in this case the editing, it can set all of those good things going for it on fire. It can make you not give a shit about these characters. It can ruin the suspense and pacing and make it a confusing slog with nothing there to hook you in. It can make important characters feel like nothing. It can make them feel like they barely know each other. And it can make it all feel so pointless. It has the aura of producers thinking, well, I know the characters, so clearly the audience will too, thus rendering it confusing even if you do know the characters. And yet, it is such a strong testament to King as a writer that he can come in and in one episode take all of those negative qualities and fix it in only 48 minutes and actually make a finale that's worth watching and cares about its characters. Even if I hated 90% of what came before it. It's the very rare opposite of, well, the show was great, but the finale sucked. This makes me actually want to see a second season of this. I hope you all enjoyed this supersized episode. We got through the whole thing and everything turned out fine. Wait, it's still 2021. I probably shouldn't go around doing that.
I have